Hello, everyone. We are going nuts here. Welcome to Justice
Well,
Tonight. This is our. Oh yeah, I didn't wait for the thing to start. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Justice Tonight. We are a work in progress here, but we're having fun. We're doing some laughing behind the scenes, and now we're ready to
Mhm.
just talk about superheroes for as long as we want, pretty much. Like YouTube, what's the limit on YouTube videos? Is there one these days? I don't even know. But we got some exciting stuff to talk about tonight. Definitely DC stuff. But I'm not alone, luckily, because if it was just me talking by myself, I don't think people would like that at all. But Devin, you're here with me. You got a nice Arkham Asylum shirt on, and yeah, are you excited about this news? This juicy, meaty DC news that we have to consume tonight?
well. What do we have?
We'll find out. Okay, that's Devin. Man, a few words, but that's okay because I've got I got Ryan here, and what do we expect tonight? As Mr. T would have said in the Rocky movie that he was in, what are we bringing tonight?
Pain.
Oh
Uh,
yes,
Can't mimic the voice, but yeah.
yeah, but it's cool.
I
So we
mean,
got Ryan.
I'm highly associated with that now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Every time I'm on a stream with you, like I'm like, give me the pain, give me the Mr. T pain, because that's the best part of the movie. Rocky
Max Payne?
3, I think. Max Payne, no. No, that was a bad movie. Mark Wahlberg.
No,
But
maybe more. Let's go with the video games. I don't
Yes,
want to acknowledge the movie.
people like video games. Maybe we'll do a video game show someday. Who knows? Probably, because we got the Yakuza Quest to do just that. But we're here tonight to talk about superheroes and superhero news. That's why we got the Avengers Infinity War flag front and center in this one. So big news this week. Why don't we just cut into it? The big news this week is that Michael Keaton is reportedly in talks to return as Batman in the Flash movie for DC. The report said that it was alongside Ezra Miller, which kind of confuses me because there's stuff there as well.
Yeah.
Who's playing who? DC Universe. It seems like they don't really care about continuity or what universe they're in anymore, but it's giving us some interesting stuff. I mean, Crisis on Infinite Earths gave us Kevin Conroy as Batman and gave us Brandon Routh as Superman again. So DC isn't afraid to have people reprise their roles, even if it's in a new universe. Ryan, what was your reaction to this news?
I definitely was shocked when I saw it when I saw that art news line just pop up my phone. I thought, wait, you gotta be kidding me. And then I'm reading it, and I'm now more into the idea, unless I see promotional photos on set or a trailer, then I'll buy into it. But even if not, this sounds like an awesome idea. I mean, it's already been too much. There's already been the Flash movie has been constantly pushed back so many times that we think, when is it going to happen? I think with the Flash movie, it should be kind of like the Joker movie outside of the DC movie, so they can do whatever they want with it. And if this gives Michael Keaton one more time to be Bruce Wayne, or at least have him gaze in a dark Batcave at the Batman costume, I'm all for it.
Have him look at a dead Robin costume too. I'd love a good dead Robin costume. Just glance at it.
Yeah, have him look at a photo of him. I mean, technically, he didn't have no Robin in his movies, but we can allude to a Robin in Keaton's Batman verse.
Mm-hmm. And I guess Tim Burton was still a producer on Batman Forever, so they kind of tried to sort of make it continue, but that was a different universe that was made out of sculptures and all kinds of weird stuff in that movie. Which actually, we got to pay our respects tonight. If you have respect, I have respect. Batman Forever was a great movie. We were talking about Batman, but I just wanted to say Joel Schumacher passed away this week. And I didn't hate Batman Forever. I thought Batman Forever was really good. And yeah, so we were talking about Batman, but this Michael Keaton news, he didn't direct a movie with Michael Keaton. I question the validity of it more because I don't think that Ezra Miller is going to continue to play the Flash moving forward, and the report said that it would be alongside Ezra Miller. And I just, for some reason, I there was that video that came out of him apparently choking a woman. I don't even know if it was him. It kind of looked like him, but it's one of those things that even if that didn't happen, I always questioned his involvement because he said that he wanted to write and kind of produce it some, and they didn't go with the script that he had. I think, was it with Jeff Johns or Grant Morrison? It was with a comic book guy that he was trying to write a darker.
I know Jeff Johns at the time, he was in charge of the greater DCEU. Yeah. He was made as creative director. Maybe he was clashing with Johns because what Ezra wanted was different to what Johns was turning. Because they made, I know, because if we do roll back at Warner Brothers' weird history with DC, it was until after Batman v Superman, Jeff Johns was brought in as the head creative control. And then even then you start seeing the changes. But
just it was too light. Like they just made it lighter in the edit, and the color looks really bad. So I hope DC goes back to going dark.
I don't think. I mean, part of me doesn't believe that was too much on Jeff Johns. I mean, a part of me wants to go with that has to be mainly the studio, because they were the studio and the executives at Warner Brothers, because they wanted to get that movie, especially after Justice League came out. We were seeing reports that many executives were trying to save their salaries by the time Justice League came out. Their bonuses. Yeah, that's why they cut it down to under 2 hours so they can show it in as many theaters as possible. They didn't care if it was successful or not. They just knew they had to make it
well.
Yes.
That affected the release date. Or otherwise they would have given Snyder the time to make his movie. That was the real reason why we're getting the Snyder Cut, is because they got rid of the guy after his daughter committed suicide and he needed to take time off. He wanted to come back and finish his movie, but they didn't want to wait for him. So that's just a really unfortunate circumstance there.
They were trying to make a mandate. They wanted to have at least more time in order to, I mean, to be honest, they could have pushed Justice League back, but then at the time they did have Aquaman coming out after that. Yeah, there was Aquaman, then Shazam, and Aquaman technically references like the end of Justice League, but to me that wasn't easy. That could have been an easy fix, honestly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and any sort of Shazam is so, and might have been reactionary in the edit too, that it's just so disconnected from the rest of the DCEU. Damn alerts.
Yeah, just like with
during the show.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I made sure every notification I had was muted, but I can't touch my laptop.
It was Maddie. All right, Maddie was just saying that he didn't know when he would be on. But
he can jump on. Matt, tell Matt he can jump on whenever he wants. Yeah.
But
like Shazam and Birds of Prey, I mean they're slightly outside of the sphere, but they're still within the same universe. I mean, to me, when I saw Birds of Prey, it was basically a sequel to Suicide Squad. So, I mean, and some people love the artistic shots of Birds of Prey. Personally, for me, I thought Harley Quinn should not have been a focal point of that movie. But the moment you see her title in there, I'm like, you see her name with that long ass title, I go, oh, well, I guess we know who's the focus here. It's like with Suicide Squad.
Fabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn.
Yeah. It's like with Suicide Squad. We all thought Joker was going to be the main villain. Nope, it was Enchantress. Like, those swears came right at us.
We're going to get release Enchantress. Who's the director? David Ayer. Thank you, Ryan. I was blanking on his name. Michael Keaton, I think you liked the Tim Burton Batmans, or you liked the Prince music in the first Batman movie. Are you excited about Keaton coming back, Dev? Do you think it's gonna happen?
And like, my first thought was when they asked Christian Bale, like Christopher Nolan said that was like a different Batman and to not come in. Does Keaton have anybody to go to on that, or?
I think it might have been Tim Burton, but I don't think Tim Burton really cares about his Batman movies. Like, there wasn't Nolan had a story that he wanted to tell with those Batman movies, and he told it. So that's why he didn't want Christian Bale to continue on as Batman, because he said that the reason he didn't take the role for Batman versus Superman is because Nolan asked him not to. And then one of the things with Keaton, I think, could this be a type of movie where it's going to be sort of a live action Into the Spider-Verse-esque movie where the Flash is meeting more than one Batman? Like I've heard things, and I've definitely wanted
Kevin Conroy shows up.
Kevin Conroy could show. I wanted a Jeffrey Dean Morgan's Thomas Wayne Batman because he was Thomas Wayne in Batman versus Superman. So I really wanted to see that in like a Flashpoint movie.
I'm kind of worried that might not happen with Jeffrey Dean Thomas because Jeffrey Dean Morgan because
Thomas Wayne.
Because at first when the Flash movie was being pitched, it was supposed to be part of the DCEU lineup, and there was an open window for Jeffrey Dean Morgan. But now, because since DC is now doing a complete overall, finally understanding, we don't want to connect. I mean, we would love a connected universe, but what we want with our superhero movies, we want them to be good.
Yeah,
good movies. I mean, yes, and they
Joker's
don't have
the
to
highest profiting movie ever, apparently.
Yeah, well, it's the highest profit because it was made. Yeah. It's like $30-50 million to make. And
I myself wasn't a fan of Joker, but like I read the original ending of Joker, and it's not one of those things where I didn't like it because of what could have been. I just didn't like it, and then I read this alternate ending where he would have ended up killing Bruce too. Like he would have been the guy that kills Thomas and Martha Wayne, and then he would have killed Bruce. But that it's one of those things with the Flash movie is that I hope that we do see other Batman. And do you think that maybe because it seems like they're bringing Zack Snyder back into the fold with the Snyder Cut at least, do you think that's like a one and done thing, or do you think Zack Snyder might have influence on the DCU moving forward? Maybe they're waiting a little bit to see what direction they go with the Flash movie, to see what people like about the Snyder Cut and what they don't like about the Snyder Cut, because DC is very reactionary lately.
Yeah, I think that's their biggest problem. They need to be being reactionary is expected, but at the same time, you should at least have something, a solid blueprint down, so then you can be able to make minor tweaks. Mm-hmm. But with this thing with Zach, I think it's mainly a one and done thing. He's coming to do his movie, and then maybe he might have some creative input on some of the movies moving forward. But I think him having hands-on approach, I think once the Snyder Cut's released on HBO Max, he's done. He might just maybe be like a producer for one or two movies of his choice. And I think with the Ezra Miller's Flash, if this is going to be a Flashpoint movie, this doesn't have to match the comics. It can be its own adaptation. And my best example of this is the Constantine movie with Keanu Reeves. We're similar to it's not a complete adaptation of the Hellblazer comics, but it's its own thing to where you can see this Constantine on his own adventures or why he's condemned to hell, instead of a Constantine where he doomed an innocent girl and now that's a mistake that haunted him. I liked in Keanu's, it's more of he committed a mortal sin by committing suicide because he couldn't accept because he could not understand what he was capable of. And I like that even in that movie, this is years after. This is Constantine after his prime. This is where he's kind of like in detective movies, you get that private detective who was a star cop, and now they're at the end of their rope just doing case by case. Yeah, I like that of Constantine. If we see something like that with the Flash, to where you can have Ezra Miller, a Flashpoint movie to where Ezra Miller wakes up and all of a sudden he realized, and then at first he realized something's weird with this world. Then he wants to go and talk to, let's say he goes to speak to Batman. And guess what? This Batman's much older than he thought he was, or he's more gruff and more Batman. Yeah. Well, I mean, Ben Affleck's Batman, of course, was very brutal. So Michael Keaton's, he doesn't need to be as brutal, but he's more methodical. I mean, it depends on the
Put nipples on it.
He had no nipples, but his suit was rubber. That's for sure.
Yeah. But the rubberiness. I mean, the rubberiness, and could we see Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman? Like, just go all out with it. Just have her come back as Selena Kyle.
Come back as Catwoman. If a report comes out that Michelle Pfeiffer is in talks, or it's confirmed that she signed up in the Flash movie as Catwoman, I'm in. Or get Billy D. Williams back as Harvey Dent.
Oh.
We get to see what his Two-Face looks like.
Yes. How did a black man go from being half white and half purple? I don't understand. How does that happen with acid on your face? It makes no sense. Billy D. Williams did voice it in the Lego movie.
Yes, he did. I would love to see his version of Two-Face in a live action movie. I would love that. I mean, sure, he's an old man. We can just have this moment where I'm just already pitching this Flash movie in my head now. It could be where the Flash, like, he's trailing Bruce and he sees Bruce going to Arkham Asylum. And then guess what? And Bruce is just at Arkham Asylum. He's trying one more time to reach his buddy Harvey Dent. And then we get the smooth talk and Billy D. Williams is
Have
Harvey.
with a cane, like kiss the cane. Be like a mafia boss, like kiss the cane, like the Grand Negus on Star Trek.
Yeah.
But Devin, do you think that I just thought of this and I haven't read this anywhere, but do you think they're going to use the de-aging tech, the Tarkin tech on Michael Keaton? Like maybe he's going to be aged down, like for the Bruce Wayne scenes, like they'll have him aged down. And then when he's Batman, you can use a stunt double and just edit the mouth. Like, do you think we'll see that? Or do you think it's going to be Bruce Wayne older or could it be both? What do you think, Dev?
I don't know. He held himself pretty well as the Vulture.
He did. Yeah. I mean, he could
fine.
be an older Bruce Wayne Batman, but what do you think, Ryan? Do you think we could see the de-aging and it could be Michael Keaton in his prime? Because Michael Keaton still looks good. I mean, it wouldn't be too hard to de-age him.
I don't actually want to de-age Michael Keaton. It could be similar to like Ben Affleck. This is a Batman who's been around for 20, 30 years. Like Michael Keaton could be a cross between Ben Affleck's in Batman v Superman and the Kevin Conroy we got in Crisis on Infinite Earths, where Bruce Wayne, he's at the end of his rope, doesn't have Alfred anymore, so he's pretty much trying to be a one-man army. We can take the Kingdom Come aspect of Batman to where he patrols Gotham City in a totalitarian state and then we can have him be not as brutal as Ben Affleck, but have the grim outlook as Ben Affleck. I mean, for Michael Keaton, he can choose almost any approach. I mean, we don't know if he's signed on the dotted line yet, but the possibilities are endless. I would love to see an amalgamation of Batmans.
Yeah. Interesting. And I wasn't even thinking about like the rest of the Bat like family. Are you casting like new Bat family? Is Jeremy Irons coming back to play Alfred? Or are you going to have
maybe finally we can get a casting of not Dick Grayson, not Barbara. We can maybe get Tim Drake, or finally we can get Jason Todd in here. Like
Damien. Just have like a 10-year-old assassin that you can't control. I want that.
An older Damien to where Damien, like I think I remember the Batman Beyond comics during the new release. In one of the Batman Beyond comics, when Terry McGinnis is being trained by Bruce, he goes to the League of Assassins, and Damien is the head. He's the Ra's al Ghul League Assassin. We can get Damien for him.
I just want to see I want them to take like note from what was kind of originally like a Batman and Robin spoof was Kick-Ass with Hit Girl. Make it like that. Just do Damian Wayne, but just do like a boy version of that where
with Nicolas Cage as the father?
No, don't damage him that much. That might be Superman.
Nicolas Cage was.
Nicolas Cage is Superman.
He is Superman. Nick Cage in the Ezra.
Then you could be Superman.
Well, he is Teen Titans Go to the movies, but like.
Oh, that's
great.
That
would actually be perfect. If we actually see reports from either comic book news or from Screen Rant that Nick Cage is in talks to be Superman in the Ezra Miller Flash, believe me, you will have so much hype and so much attention will be on this movie to make sure it gets made.
That's going to be a rumor tomorrow.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage in talks with Superman. You heard it here first.
If this is going to be like Flashpoint, we can just have Nick Cage as the Superman in the Red Sun Jail Center freaking out like crazy.
God.
You get Superman.
Cage rage.
Yeah, it's just, and then when his eyes, he can just do his Cage face when his eyes go red.
Yes.
Just,
More. Give me more of this. This is, you could have people play Green Lantern. You could have the Shazam kids.
Oh, wait.
You could see The Rock is Black Adam.
Yes. The Rock is Black Adam. Or heck, one best part, we can bring Ryan Reynolds back as Green Lantern just so we can see in a backstory where he killed, because in the Flashpoint comics and the movie, Hal Jordan does a suicide mission. We can just have Ryan Reynolds come back to be like, hey guys, I'm here, now I'm gone. It'd be very brutal and cold, but it's like Ryan Reynolds can just be like, hey, I get to be Hal Jordan again, and I'm dead.
That's incredible. No, that's incredible. I'm looking for like something that all I can think of is good for us, because this gives us like so much to talk about, because Michael Keaton, then bringing back Michael Keaton, it opens the door for them bringing back other people. So we could see Henry Cavill.
With Thurman.
This really doesn't have to be attached to the DCEU.
No.
This could be a DC movie, a wild DC movie.
Or it could be connected to the DCEU and they establish a cinematic multiverse in the movie, so that they tell you that movies going forward are all going to take place in this cinematic multiverse, but they won't necessarily take place on the same Earth, to give the writers more creative freedom. Much like Crisis on Infinite Earths, how like Batwoman or Supergirl was on a different Earth originally. And
well, I think one thing's for sure, if this does move forward, DC needs like most likely they need someone like a Kevin Feige, someone who understands not only the business side of it, but understands the creative side too, to where, I mean, as much as MCU picks good directors, it's pretty obvious that the MCU studios, now at Disney, they have their own team when it comes with a second unit direction. I mean, it's one of the reasons, and it's that unfortunate why we don't really get a lot of directors to really show us their vision. I mean, the only directors in my mind who's ever done that was Shane Black and James Gunn, because as much as people loved Iron Man 3, that 100% throughout is the Shane Black movie. Same with Guardians of the Galaxy, it's a James Gunn movie. Black Panther could have been a pure Ryan Coogler movie, but it was clear in the third act the MCU second unit team took over on that point.
Yeah. And that made me think, is J.J. Abrams just signed a long deal with Warner Brothers, so we could see him stepping into one of these DC movies yet. And I do think there is still a chance that Snyder does put his hands on the wheel, sort of steers the ship, if Justice League is successful. However, they're measuring.
I think Snyder would most likely fall back in the eyes of producer. That way he can be like that second hand, like to help back up whoever creative control. Because look, we might laud Snyder a bit for the way he chooses direction of his movies, but at least he gets to have a say in how his movies are shot from beginning to end. And whether you hate how the end product was or how you disagree with it, you all know it's a Snyder movie through and through.
Yeah. And even if it's not the most comic book accurate, like Doomsday, that looks awesome to me. Like it's just, the world is ending in that scene, and only Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman can stop it from happening.
My biggest problem with that part of Doomsday, Doomsday pretty much should have been a reveal in the theaters instead of the trailers, because that is a big problem with movie studios.
He looks like Michael Shannon.
Yeah, he does a bit, and then of course you see it's Michael Shannon, it's Zod's corpse that's used. But the problem, I think, look, as much as we want to hate movie studios, the fact is they're able to get these projects going. It's just at one point it's kind of like just greenlight the project, give them the money, and to put into Ricky Gervais terms, give them the money, greenlight the project, and fuck off.
Yeah, and we've seen that happen for like studios before, where they've had I'll go with like Kathleen Kennedy, for example. She did that in The Last Jedi. She told Rian Johnson, just go with it. And critically, that movie I think critics, like professional critics, liked it, but fans were split on it. But it made the money. People spoke with their wallets. They wanted to see that movie, even if they didn't like the end product. They wanted to see it. So I think
the thing is, that movie is rewatchable. Look, we can go back and forth how much we disagree on Last Jedi, but the thing is, that movie is rewatchable because there are things you want to pick apart and see what. And Rian Johnson, Kathleen Kennedy, let's be honest, she just gave them carte blanche, and it's one of those situations to where she should have been. You can write your movie, but let's pick up a few moments from J.J. Abrams and let's move forward from here. And then it was obvious from news with Trevorrow. He had his own movie made, but then of course what's that movie? The Book of Henry wasn't received well, which gave Disney pause. They're like, I don't know if we want to move forward with you. Are you looking for a bunch of dollars? Come on, Disney. You can make You make piece of crap live action remakes and people still responded with their wallets.
Very reactionary.
So,
And Artemis Fowl. But Devin, you like Zack Snyder movies, right? Like you like the tone of them, Batman vs Superman, Man of Steel, and some of the good parts of Justice League, if you desaturate them a bit. But even those trailers for Justice League, those early trailers where the skies were still dark and there's a shot of Wonder Woman with Aquaman and the Flash behind her. Where's that? Yeah. I can't wait to see that movie because that movie looked good and Justice League looked bad. But Michael Keaton, it's interesting to see that they're doing this because it does open the door. I think they are going to establish a multiverse in this movie if it does end up happening with Michael Keaton. My biggest doubt, though, is coming back to it, Ezra Miller. Do you think that Ezra Miller is still the Flash?
That is a good question, honestly. I'm really unsure. And yeah, that video of like you don't know if it's Ezra or not, but when you zoom in and you see Ezra do that choke slam on that fan, you realize, oh wow, that does not look good. And to me, honestly, it's at this point, Ezra Miller is either all in to be the Flash or he's out. There's no in betweens at this point. His career is kind of dangling. So we need a decision from the studio and from Ezra themselves. Is he going to solely be an actor, or does he want to do what he wanted to write and produce the Flash?
Chokeline people. I think it was the turtleneck. I think he just hates the turtleneck because Grant Gustin really always says that he hates the neck piece on the television show. Maybe it's just something about being the Flash that you just hate like large neck pieces and you just need to get rid of them.
One thing for sure, Grant Gustin needs to grow a pair. Okay, if he does not like that, guess what? He can ask someone to make the neck lining a little more fitting around the neck. I mean, look. I'm not saying Grant Gustin's terrible or he's being a diva. I'm not saying he's being a diva, but he's been on the show for now six years. 6, 7 years. 6, 7 years. He should at least be the point. Either make sure he's in fit condition so the suit fits him, or he can put in requests to have the suit at least let out a little bit to where his neck doesn't, to where the neck doesn't.
On this past season, because they actually did do that because they had it open neck one season and then it went back to closed neck.
I remember in season 3, he kept taking off the cowl so many goddamn times. I'm like, stop removing your mask.
Your secret identity,
yeah. At least one thing I like about Green Arrow, he just had a domino mask. If he took off the hood, fine.
Don't do it.
I know, just don't do it. At least I can understand. 8 to 10 hours in that cowl is gonna be nerve-wracking, but you're an actor. Buck up, okay?
Yeah. Michael Keaton couldn't move his neck at all. Speaking of Michael Keaton, is that one of those things that they're gonna bring back? Are they gonna have like Mecha Batman? Are they gonna have like what's the suit gonna look like? Is it gonna look like the rubbery like unitard? What do you think?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I think it's gonna be a mixture of Kingdom Come and The Dark Knight Returns.
Have you seen the Batman Incorporated comic?
Yes, I read that. I own that comic.
Yeah, hold on. That's the suit that I would have him wear. I would have him wear something like that, where it's more armory, where it's more modern, but you still have the yellow circle with the dark bat in front of it, just like his suit had. That's how I would make it look, because I think the yellow in the suit isn't something you gotta do away with, especially if it's on black.
Yeah, you mean something like this right here in the background, right?
A little something like that, but more is on the Arkham game. It said there was a suit that said Batman Incorporated.
Yeah,
or like exactly like that.
Something like that with the Arkham Knight as well. You know, no wait.
Oh yeah, but something that's more armored that has the yellow bat and then the yellow light and then the black bat.
I'm thinking of the Insider suit that he wore in Batman Incorporated. You know, when everyone thought he was still dead, and his Insider suit, it mimicked all the abilities of the Justice League. I'm trying to find that. I think we might get something like that.
That sounds more like Ultimo, doesn't it? Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it would help with this. I mean, it would make sense for this Bruce Wayne. He has a Justice League, this Batman with Michael Keaton. He has a Justice League in his timeline and the Justice League became too much of a threat, he developed a suit to where now he can replicate all their abilities. Or even like in the New 52, with the Batman Endgame storyline before Jim Gordon took over, Bruce Wayne had a similar suit like that.
Yeah, I don't want to see Jim Gordon as Batman in a movie ever, but maybe if it is like one of those in the Spider-Verse type things where you get heroes from around the multiverse, one of them might be Jim Gordon, but I don't want to see that. If anything, I want to see Barbara Gordon. Give me Barbara Gordon back.
I think actually now I would like to see Barbara Gordon in this Flash movie because we will get a precise Oracle, or have her as Batgirl, but we would get Oracle or have her. Yeah. Because personally, for me, go ahead, man.
I was gonna ask, do you want her to already have been like paralyzed? Do you want them to like show her as Batgirl, or do you want it to like get there eventually?
I think this should be after she was paralyzed, like, because one thing I liked about her storylines as Oracle is that she had to rebuild her character up. Like, she was brought to her lowest, and then it took Bruce Wayne, Dick Grayson, even though they tried her best, it was all on Barbara to build herself back up, which is why I loved how even when she was paralyzed from the waist below, she still learned martial arts. She learned to scream so she can be able to still defend herself. She was she had genius intellect. She was a great computer programmer hacker, to where I loved in the origins of Birds of Prey. Black Canary didn't know who she was until maybe like 12 to 20 episodes in. I mean, I think this should be a Barbara Gordon afterwards. Or hell, we can have Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne be like in the Batman Beyond. I mean,
maybe we could see Terry McGinnis. Like we could see.
That's what maybe
it's taking on Batman. Maybe Damian takes on Batman. Like, the possibilities literally are endless.
Yeah, they are. I mean, and that's what excites me about this whole idea of Michael Keaton, because if they get if Michael Keaton is confirmed, signed on the dotted line, and then all of a sudden we hear about a pre-production date moving forward, that door opens for so many other DC actors who may have an interest to come back, not for like a full length run, but maybe just like a 5 to 7 minute like appearance.
Yeah, I'd love to see Gary Oldman as Jim Gordon again. I'd love to see Michael Caine as Alfred again. Morgan Freeman, Lucius Fox. You could see, and hey, I'll even say Arnold as Mr. Freeze. I'd love to see that. I might be alone.
We could have a moment where Michael Keaton, Bruce Wayne, is going through Arkham Asylum, and then we can just have a quick list, and we can have a quick walk down of all past DC villains, all past Batman villains that were not killed in the movies. Riddler, Mr. Freeze, Uma Thurman's Poison Ivy. We get
Jim Carrey. I mentioned Uma Thurman.
You said Uma Thurman. I was like, no, but Jim Carrey, Riddler. I mean, that is. He wouldn't. I don't think he wants to do movies that are too violent, like a Batman movie. But God, that's one of those roles where I don't think you can still find a better actor to play that role.
Not even Jesse Eisenberg.
Not even Jesse Eisenberg.
Oh, Jesse Eisenberg. I
still think Riddler. He was a great Riddler.
I think he had the idea of a young Lex Luthor. The problem was that he made him too much like a little bit of his Mark. It was like a Mark Zuckerberg that was hooked on cocaine.
Yeah, and Starburst or Jolly Ranchers.
Yeah, it was Jolly Ranchers.
So that makes me think. While we're just on the subject of DC, we're talking about what DC is doing moving forward. Is he Lex Luthor moving forward? Are they going to go through that story? Are they going to bring Lex Luthor Sr., which they mentioned in the movie? But like, is Daddy coming in, and is it going to be like Cranston or something?
I doubt that, honestly. I think whatever that movie with Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, it's just gonna come and go at this point.
What about
to be honest? No, we're nowhere with Kevin Spacey. He's got too much baggage on him.
No. But I like that Devin was kind of going for that reaction from us.
I mean, it won't shock me if someone actually throws that up on a Reddit page, like, "Oh, Michael Keaton's coming back. We can have Kevin Spacey."
If he wasn't shunned from Hollywood, I would really like that to happen because I thought he was a good Lex Luthor, like personal life aside. I like Superman Returns. But what personal life, yeah. But I don't know. I always wanted that next season, that last season of House of Cards to have a minute. It's like just bring him in. He's a bad guy in the movie, so it's not.
That's
But
the point.
I just I hate it when good actors are terrible people because
Yeah.
we're the ones that lose from it, and the victims obviously.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't want to talk about Kevin Spacey anymore.
Yeah, no, I understand what you mean, what you're saying there. I mean, but in all truth, the victims, I mean, if they have to speak up, if they want to speak up, it is their choice moving forward. I give them all my support as long as your statements and the evidence you have remains true. If there was just something that you just, yeah, but if this was just some stuff that you cooked up just to slander an actor, trust me, any backlash is all on you. But yeah, Kevin Spacey, he's shunned from Hollywood. And I mean, hell, it will not shock me if we start getting Christopher Plummer replacing him for everything.
Did Ezra Miller actually choke that? Like that's what I'm wondering. Is that their defense that like it wasn't
it's
him?
Really hard to tell.
I don't think it's him.
There are 7 other people who believe it wasn't him too. It
doesn't look like him.
Well, not 7. There are many people who believe it's not him.
700.
And to be
exactly.
honest, oh my god! If I knew the exact number, I would.
Yeah,
I would be
386 is a very specific number.
Okay, yes, you're right. So there's 386 reasons to be excited about the DC universe. Are they ever going to do anything with Deathstroke? Like they brought in Joe Manganiello. It's like, and that scene just goes nowhere. I heard he was going to have a big role in the Snyder Cut.
That's what I heard too. Like there was maybe talks that it was going to be Deathstroke and like there was going to be a tease of a Deathstroke versus Batman fight in the Snyder Cut, or it was going to be where Bruce Wayne encounters Deathstroke. I don't know. I mean, to be honest, Ben Affleck Batman and Joe Manganiello Deathstroke makes sense because these are men who are in their 40s or like I think, and they can get. Yeah. They can get physically fit. Clearly, they can get physically fit to look the part. And I want to see a great live action Deathstroke. I loved Manu Bennett and I loved Isai Morales. The problem is that the stuff they were on. I mean, I love Arrow, but when they kept bringing back Deathstroke,
the stuff they were on, it's just not
right.
funny.
The shows they were on. Manu Bennett was great for the first 2 seasons of Arrow, but then they kept trying to redeem him later on. And with Isai Morales, he was a good Deathstroke. The problem was he just had a terrible Dick Grayson to be his counterbalance.
Yeah, and Titans.
Terrible Dick.
Titans is one of those things that it took them 2 seasons to get done what they should have gotten done in the first 5 episodes. I don't get it. I do want to talk about the DC like streaming shows.
Yes.
I'll start with Doom Patrol because we're like midway through it. We haven't watched the full show yet, and I gotta say, I'm not impressed. Like
really?
I heard the hype. This is something we started months ago, and we just like stopped watching it because we were bored. I don't like the characters. I like Cyborg, but the rest of the characters, I love the cast. I think Brendan Fraser is really good. I think Matt Bomer is really miscast because they should have cast him to be Superman on Titans. I mean, look at the guy.
No, I disagree. I think he fits good as Larry because the one thing, I understand, Baboon, he's a beautiful looking man.
He's Superman.
I know, but one of the things I like about actors who are physically beautiful, when they take on characters like that, Jesus. I froze for a second. Did I freeze it on you guys?
Oh, you're good.
No. Oh, sorry. You guys I thought I froze. What? All right. Go ahead.
No, I was just joking.
It's just the thing with Matt Bomer. Like I said, what I was saying was when I see actors who are like physically beautiful. Like you can see them from an oil painting. When they take on roles that make them physically disfigured, you get to see their performances. And trust me, just keep watching. Just keep watching with Doom Patrol. It is very rough. I will give that to you. But the characters, the journeys they go on, they start to make sense later on. Because for them, like, because you've seen with Doom Patrol, these characters, they've been like Robot Man, Miss Elastic Woman, and Negative Man, and Jane. They've all been stuck in this Crazy Jane. They've all been stuck.
Just like I just said that. All these superhero names and Jane. My mom's name is Jane, so I was just picturing the Doom Patrol and Jane.
It's just that
a lot of F-bombs in this show.
Yeah. Oh my god. But I mean, it's just like if you get from the first 4 episodes, these are very mentally unbalanced people. Not to where they're unhealthy, but it's really where like even one bad day can put them in a rut that will take them months to come up from. Like if you saw from the pilot episode, like just that itself, when they go into that town, they all try to do things comfortable. Like Rita goes to a 50s style diner, Larry goes to a bar, but when Rita hears one bad thing about herself, she's melting. And with Larry, and my favorite episode of Doom Patrol was episode 7, the therapy, what they did. The fact that they're all finally trying to get their shit in order, but then all it takes is one outburst from Crazy Jane and then a bad fight to where they're all back down in that same rut again. But it got to the point. They need to stop being in this constant cycle of self-loathing. And it's gonna pick up further on. Trust me, Cyborg's moment is coming.
Cyborg, I think they're doing like some grid stuff there. Like they're foreshadowing some stuff big time. If you read comic books,
you keep watching with Cyborg. You're gonna get Cyborg's moments coming, and also Elastigwoman. Her moment herself is her own moments coming too, and same with Larry as well. The later episodes, I think episode 9 or 10. That's my second favorite episode. It's just great stuff. I mean, it's slow building, and I like it's focused on characters. I like that. And I actually said this after the 5th when Doom Patrol was still running its first season. After I watched the 5th episode, I publicly said this on a Reddit forum. This was the show that Legends of Tomorrow should have been, but its wishes it was weird. But at the same time, not too self-referential or too meta to acknowledge the weirdness. It's more of we live in a weird world. That's it. Move on.
Yeah. I think Legends Season 2 is still like that's the show that I wanted. Like almost a TV team, an elite team of superheroes, and not just one of the leaders of the Justice League in the TV universe plus a bunch of idiots.
That's what they ruined. They downgraded so many characters just so they can make certain. They had to punch down so many characters to build others up. Like I don't like Nate now. He started off as a very he's a historian. I liked how whenever he time traveled, he was proven wrong, with his own theory, because he was just a historian. But when he gets powers, all of yes. He should have been Indiana Jones. Instead, he's just turned into Marcus Brody. He became Brody.
And him and Bayrod are just like these stoners that they're hippies of tomorrow. That's what it is. Constantine's the only part of that show that I think they're still getting right. Like everything with Astra, with the guy.
I don't like how they changed his origin in season 5. I like the fact that they brought back the whole thing, like he's trying to redeem himself for what happened with Astra. But I don't like how they changed it to where, he made a mistake as a kid. Instead, it was, he was in love with her mother and he made a bad choice to where it condemned her.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is more soap opera crap. Just be to where of he was part of a band and then he was known as a demon, a demonologist. Makes a mistake. Cost a little girl's life, and he's been paying for it ever since. It was right there. You didn't have to tweak it.
See, they did that they even had an animated movie that was connected to the universe, and that's what it was. They used Matt Ryan's voice and everything. And then maybe post-Flash, this is a post-Flashpoint thing. Like, maybe that's what did originally happen, and then post-Flashpoint, it just changed it. That's all I can think of. Is maybe that's just buying it.
No, but I think I would buy that. Problem is with Legends, they have made it so clear that they are so meta with their show. Like whenever a crossover happens, they always go with, "Oh, it's the annual
Sarah's the only
crossover."
one.
Oh my God, shut the hell up! It's because they kept being so meta. It kept taking me out of the show. Just realize you're in a weird situation. You're out of your element, and then problem solve from there. Be like the Martian. Don't be like what's that movie where? Don't be like Mel Brooks. Don't be like a bad Mel Brooks movie. Be like a good Mel Brooks movie. Acknowledge the weirdness. A bad Mel Brooks movie?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's bad in my mind. History of the World Part 1. And what's that other one he did? I used to think it was bad. No. I used to think Blazing Saddles is bad, but after rewatching it, it's I love Blazing Saddles now.
Yeah.
It was just as a kid, my dad showed me that. I go, what's with the constant fart jokes? Or why am I seeing these constant racial jokes? And now I go back and I was like, no, he was making fun of racism like
I love the smile.
Where the white woman at?
Yeah. But I'm like that same way though, because Mel Brooks Spaceballs I don't like, but Mel Brooks the Blazing Saddles, yeah, I do like.
And what about Robin Hood?
That's okay.
I like Men in Tags. I think it's okay at some points. I'm trying to think. There was this other Mel Brooks movie that they did. You know what? Hold on. But you guys can vamp. I'm just gonna look up. Dracula Dead and Loving It. That's a bit of a bad Mel Brooks movie.
Oh yeah.
It's nothing but jokes on jokes on jokes. It's good when you want an entertaining movie, but if you're trying to look for a smartly written Mel Brooks movie, that's not it.
Was he Young Frankenstein too?
Yeah, I think
Young Frankenstein, yeah.
Yeah, Young Frankenstein, that is Mel Brooks. Yeah. I should know this. I mean, yeah.
But I don't know how we got to Mel Brooks, but
that was me trying to make an analogy and not going through with it.
Yeah. But we do have some Marvel news that we did the DC. We'll stick on DC and then we'll pivot to Marvel news. Are you watching Stargirl at all?
I only watched the first episode. I'm gonna get back up on that show. I'm gonna get back up on that show because I want to see what more they're doing. I liked Luke Wilson in that pilot.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's Owen. That's Owen, you guys.
No, I know it's Owen. It's just he still talks the same way.
Actually, he does.
Yeah.
He does the wow at times. The movie Blue Streak he was in, he was always going like, whoa, Jesus.
Yeah. It is, a lot.
But from that pilot, I enjoyed that pilot. I do want to see more of Stargirl, although when I'm hearing that every episode of Stargirl is introducing a new Golden Age character.
A little bit.
Kind of.
They've gotten it takes a while to build up. It's essentially like a Justice Society, the Next Generation show. And
okay.
I think the tone is perfect. I think the tone is perfect. Stop. It's not Star Trek. Where it's dark and creepy at moments when it has to be, but it's when it's lighthearted, it has the lighthearted moments too. I think the cast is good. I really like Breck Basinger, is that her name? She's really good. Product placement. There is a ton of product placement,
and it's also the one kid.
She has like a little stepbrother, and he's there solely for product placement.
What are you doing?
He hasn't done anything yet except push Pop-Tarts and Hershey syrup and Nintendo Switch. That's how they got it.
Okay, I mean, they're not being if they're not being in your face about it, then okay, that's interesting. But
it's very in your face.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll have to get back in the show because I have the Stargirl series. Then I still have to watch. I still need to binge season 2 of the Harley Quinn animated show.
Oh, they had a season 2 already?
Yeah,
they did. I binged all season 1 last month.
Yeah, I haven't. It's just one of those shows that I after they had the Jacob Tremblay Robin episode, I was kind of just I don't want it anymore.
All right.
No, I don't want to. He's heard the story. I don't
But
want to talk.
Dietrich Bader,
This is a superhero show. Don't. This is a superhero
Dietrich
show.
Bader but Dietrich Bader is hilarious with his Batman in there.
Yeah, it just wasn't for me. There's DC things out there that aren't for me. Doom Patrol might be one of those things. I never finished, like I never started or finished watching that Alfred show that they had out there.
Fuck! I keep forgetting that exists.
I thought it was canceled after its first season.
It was Krypton. I started watching Krypton, never finished that.
I watched one episode of Krypton. I couldn't. I saw this. I watched the second season. I watched the first episode of the second season of Krypton. To get Walter Steele to play Zod, I'm okay with. But then the character, the protagonist of Superman's grandfather. I mean, the pilot episode I didn't like because
Cora?
What?
Cora?
No, Cor-El.
Cor-El. Yes, Cor-El.
Cor-El. Yeah.
Cor-El.
The pilot episode just really didn't strike well with me because they try to make Krypton as if it's no different than Earth. The problem is it is different than Earth.
Very back alley Earth, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like that idea that everything's back alley. I mean, this could have been it could have been a political. The first couple episodes could have been a political, like movie-ish type, and then we build into more. Second season, they're trying to build. They're already referencing Doomsday. I'm like, wait, nobody on freaking Krypton knew about Doomsday in the comic. Why would they know about that in the show?
In which universe is it? Like, is it the Snyder universe? Is it? It seems like it's sort of the Snyder universe, but very much lower budget. I didn't finish it. I dropped off of it.
I wasn't watching an episode with Lobo, but even then, I couldn't.
That piqued my interest after I was already disinterested. But then
I
was like,
hated Lobo.
Shiny. No, I don't like Lobo because I've never seen a good version of him. There's this comic book, one of the Injustice comic books. I always say this about Lobo, like when people argue that Lobo's the strongest, my argument is Superman could throw this guy into the sun. And in one of the Injustice comics, he literally grabs him by the neck, drags him out to the sun, and just sticks his face in it. And it's like, I could obliterate you any second that I want to without giving an effort. It's like, thank you, because that's one of those characters I just think is overrated.
That's one thing I liked about the Injustice series. Yeah, because as much as I hate people going like, what happens if Superman turns bad? We've had the Superman animated series to show you. Before Injustice, the Superman animated series, there were 3 episodes to where Superman was brainwashed by Darkseid to where he was his follower. Those were good episodes. And even then, we still have comics to where Superman can be manipulated or he can be tricked into going on the bad side. I mean, even in the dark side, there was one episode when Lois Lane goes into the future. She finds out that Lex and Superman joined forces when Superman believed that Lois was dead. He was a stone cold totalitarian leader. It wasn't until he sees Lois again he realized he messed up. So I didn't need injustice. Yeah.
Well, the Flash, Ezra Miller's coming out in his little jammy suit. Like, have you seen the behind the scenes of that scene? It's just him in the motion capture onesie, just like leaning towards Ben Affleck, and Ben Affleck is like, I love like non-edited like motion capture sequences because it's just it's so silly. I want to be an actor. That'd be so much fun.
It would be a blast, honestly.
Yeah, even if like it was one of those prosthetic like Doug Jones that never like the best actor you've never heard of is what they always call him because he's always underneath some sort of prosthetic. CGI.
For a while, there used to be Andy Serkis before he blew up.
Everybody knows him now.
Now Doug Jones is part of that, but he's slowly starting to grow. He's getting that following to where if his name is brought up, that he'll have that fan base. Even Ron Perlman too, in his heyday. Ron Perlman, he was that guy in Matrix.
Yeah, Ron Perlman was in Star Trek Nemesis. He was the viceroy for Shinzon. Yeah.
And also, he had a show he did a Beauty and the Beast TV show in the 90s. Him and Linda Hamilton. He was the beast. He was the beast in that show. He had prosthetic makeup on him.
Impressive.
Yeah, you can watch a couple episodes. It might not hold up though, but you can see they were being practical with him when he was the beast. You can even look for photos of Beauty and the Beast, Ron Perlman. It will show you. He was.
We need to just like talk about crappy TV shows for like 3 hours. Just like all kinds of Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey. I thought it was fine. Looking back, and I'm like, oh, they really understood. They really did not want to lean up too hard on the metahumans.
No.
No. I hated the fact that
The audiences weren't ready for it yet.
Nah.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Huntress, for some reason, she's a metahuman, even though Catwoman and Bruce Wayne have no powers.
Like, what is that? And Dinah or Black Canary is like she's some sort of telepath. Like what?
She's Dinah Drake's daughter. That was the thing. But she takes the name Black Canary anyway.
But she had like telepathic, didn't she?
Yeah, she's telepathic, and then telepathic, and then she's telekinetic.
Yeah, like she's not Jean Grey. She's the Black Canary. Make her the Black Canary.
This is when people did not know how to handle this. I mean, and it had some of the same producing staff that was behind Smallville too.
Did you see the Aquaman pilot?
I did watch it. It was forgettable.
Yeah. Even though Green Arrow's Aquaman.
And what about the Adrian Pilecki Wonder Woman?
Adrian Pilecki Wonder Woman, the Joss Whedon Wonder Woman, and what's interesting,
David Kelly Wonder Woman.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, David Kelly Wonder Woman.
But you were right, Adrian Pilecki. They were that. I saw 35 minutes of that, and I thought they did not get Wonder Woman down. No. They were trying to modernize her, and I'm like, wait, okay, so she's Wonder Woman, she's a CEO, and then she has a secret identity as a common person. Wait, what's
slow motion? Lots of slow motion.
Oh my god! And the outfit just did not snap off the screen. Ugh.
She's been in the most canceled pilot. She was also in the Aquaman pilot, interestingly enough. And the guy that plays Hawk on Titans actually played Aquaman on Smallville.
In Smallville, yes, Alan Richardson. He was also motion capture for Raphael in the Michael Bay movie.
Yeah.
2012 and 2016. No,
yeah, but we do have some Marvel movies.
You're right. 2014, 2016.
Yeah, trivia. See, he doesn't know enough trivia.
It's too few and far between.
Alan Richardson, he's actually my favorite part of Titans because he's being honest with the character of Hank. I don't. I just had to say it. I opened the door. I opened the door to that.
Yeah, no. As soon as you said Alan, it's a reflex now. I'm like, I can't control it. I just hear the name and I have to do it.
But Hawk was my favorite. Hawk was my only highlight of season 2. Him and
maybe better in season 1.
In season 2, he was making sense. He was trying to build. He was trying to get better. And then you have Dawn. I mean, God. Season 2 felt like a huge misstep. You look like you're going in the right direction, and then guess what? I have not finished. I stopped after episode 9. After episode 9, I stopped because I hated. No, it's. I think it's no. It's when Dick gets himself arrested to go to prison.
Yeah.
It's when Dick lied. I hated how he lied about how Jericho died. He says that Slade killed him when in reality Jericho sacrificed himself. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, Slade still killed him.
Yeah, I know Slade still killed him, but he lies about how he died. That group would have broken up regardless because Jericho was killed. And then he says, oh, I was protecting your feelings. No, you all manipulated Jericho to join you. You tell him the truth about his father, just manipulate him to get vengeance on him killing Aqualad. This was so unnecessarily complicated. And then, of course, there's Raven. My God, they mishandled Raven. I thought they were doing great with Superboy. And then you pair him with Garth, who has no idea what the hell he's doing. I mean, okay, Garth, he made sense, though, because he's making mistakes. I did not mind his character journey. But like I said, I only watched up to episode 9. I did not watch anything afterward. I didn't care how Dick became Nightwing. I didn't care about Bruce Wayne showed up. I didn't care about anything after that because nothing could really get me out of how bad that show dropped.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Like, I liked it when, like, I think the high point was in season 1 where, like, they're in that hotel and, like, they're all using their power. I think that's the high point, and then it just drops down from there.
Yeah.
But we do have some Marvel news.
Yeah, let's move on to Marvel because I don't want to stay too dark and grim in DC.
Dark, gritty, emo. But
You want DC?
wear a mask.
So dark. Are you sure you're not from the DC universe?
I don't have that clip, but apparently J.K. Simmons already shot his scene for the next Spider-Man movie, and
Okay.
Scene or scenes?
scenes multiple. I think
think
it said.
so.
But I think what that means is I don't think they mean Spider-Man Homecoming 3. I think they more mean probably for Morbius.
Venom 2 or Morbius?
Maybe Venom 2 as well. So when he says Spider-Man movie, I think he's being very broad because that's a character that I really think, especially back to Michael Keaton, since Michael Keaton is in Morbius, the Living Vampire, that we're going to have J.K. Simmons reprise his role as JJ. Yeah.
Several times.
I mean, I don't know when Morbius is going to be released now because
it's supposed to be September, I think, or October.
Yeah, but we'll find out soon. But one thing with Morbius is, that trailer. I mean, all those Easter eggs of that mural of Spider-Man being labeled as murder, Michael Keaton showing up. I mean, it's definitely giving you an idea that Morbius might be a connecting thread between MCU and then Venom. But at the same time, I'm hoping this is not Tom Holland Spider-Man. Honestly, I would love to have Andrew Garfield Spider-Man come back because he could finally maybe get his go at playing a Spider-Man, but he won't. But at least he won't have enough screen time. So then he'll give us a taste of us wanting more. Hopefully, even though Garfield. Oh, go ahead, man.
Oh no, you first. Finish.
No, I was gonna say Garfield has said a couple times in interviews that the filming processes from Amazing Spider-Man 2 did take away the fun of being Spider-Man. He might not be willing to come back unless it's in the right hands.
Yeah. What I think is they're gonna do with Morbius is that Sony has to be clever about it. Like the MCU told them that it's okay if you use the same actor. Well, not even they told them. I think it's more of a legal thing. I think their legal department read the contracts and was like, okay, there's nothing in here that says that we can't use the characters, that we can't use the same actors. The only rules are that we can't mention anything that was established in the MCU. So Ned Leeds, that's a character that they have, but they can't mention anything about how Ned Leeds hacked into the Stark tech and stuff like that. They need to be very specifically not MCU. So they could have a Vulture, but he probably would have to have a new suit with salvage technology from somebody else. But you can't mention Stark. You can't have Avengers Tower. Those sort of things are kind of no-nos, kind of like the Michael Keaton, Joel Schumacher, like when they went to the Joel Schumacher Batman. They never really contradicted anything, but they were clearly a different vision of Batman.
Do you think they can use the Baxter Building?
No, they can't use the Baxter Building. Not Sony.
Maybe. No, you're right.
You can.
I know Sony, they could maybe bring back Oscorp again, but have it lightly referenced. I mean, or maybe Adrian Toomes. Yeah, or Adrian Toomes can be like what he was in the comics. He was kind of like a businessman or an entrepreneur who fell on hard times and created his own suit. Yeah.
So Oscorp is actually a good mention because I think that's actually why they haven't mentioned Oscorp in the MCU movies yet, is because they didn't want to set something up in an MCU movie that they would then have to like be restricted by. Because if it happens in a Sony movie and they just like say that, they don't even have to say that the Oscorp Tower is now the Avengers Tower. They could just say bought it from its former owner and has the tallest building in New York now.
Honestly, if we are going to have Toomes in there, we can have some light vague. I mean, if it's Michael Keaton and he is Adrian Toomes, we can have a light reference to his crew because if you remember in Homecoming, he had that one person on his crew. Not Scorpion. No, the guy who was the Tinkerer.
Tinkerer, yes. Oh yes.
Yes,
Tinkerer.
Because the guy who kept making all the he was adapting all of that technology into all devices. Yeah, the guy in the chair.
Yeah.
I think he was called the Tinkerer in the credits.
Tinkerer.
I mean, I think he's credited as Tinkerer. They can reference him because he did help, because it was clear in Homecoming that dude was the sole mechanic behind all of the alien tech they stole. Like he was making everything for them, except out of Logan Marshall Green's Shocker. He made that shit his own.
That's a broad enough thing where it doesn't have to be like he was tinkering with Stark Industries. He's just an engineer. Like that's really broad. They don't have to mention anything from Homecoming. And the climbers, they gave Donald Glover the climbers.
Yes, I just remembered. I remember Amazing Spider-Man 2. I mean, even though Oscorp was a big thing in Amazing Spider-Man 2, there were at least a few bit players that were referenced. Like Alistair Smythe was a small Easter egg reference. Like he was literally casted in Amazing Spider-Man 2. They could reference him in Morbius movie because in the comics, Alistair Smythe was already a genius engineer, a biomechanical engineer who even studied chemistry. I mean, even in the Spider-Man animated series, Alistair Smythe dealt with genetic engineering, genetic tampering. He built the Spider Slayers. So we could have maybe, yes, Felicia Hardy too.
That was Felicity Jones in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Although it may not be Felicity Jones coming back, it could be another actress. Felicity Jones, she's further along in her career now than she was in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Do you think we'll ever see Emma Stone as like a Spider-Gwen though? If they're gonna do like a live action type thing, or she aged out of that by now?
I don't think about aging out of it. I think I think the closest we're ever gonna get with Emma Stone as Spider-Gwen is an animated movie. Like if we get a Spider-Verse 2 and then we get Gwen back, we jump into it. Let's say Gwen, Haley Steinfeld's Gwen, and Miles Morales, they fall into another dimension where they meet Spider-Man, and then we have Emma Stone voicing Gwen Stacy, not Gwen, but Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, that would be possible because they did say that they were gonna kind of do like an all-female Spider-Verse spinoff at one point. Who knows what the plans are for that?
They gotta be, yeah, that's true. They gotta be very slow on that one. They can't rush this because, as great as the Spider-Verse was, to be honest, that could not have worked. It really couldn't have worked.
No. I mean, I don't know. I even thought that when they announced Into the Spider-Verse, I kind of laughed at it. I was like, it's an animated Spider-Man. They're going to release it in theaters? That sounds like a bad idea. Like, they release these movies on DVD. Who's going to see? And then, like, as you saw more, it's like, oh, this is interesting.
And even some of the voice casting you heard on there. I mean, sure, John Mulaney and Nick Cage are fantastic in the small bits, but when you heard them in the trailer, you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
That's them? I mean, like, no one did, of course you didn't recognize John Mulaney, but you're like, wait, what? And even then with Jake Johnson as Spider-Man, like so many people thought, oh my God, this is not gonna work at all. So
no, it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm not saying you need to get the right casting done. You just need to, if you really want to get the characters, they got.
You need the right characters too.
That's true.
Like you can't just like. I think they were very specific with which Spider-Man they used in that movie. Like that could have been Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham. That's something that should not work, but because it's in an animated movie, because we're buying into it already, they're able to do it. Yeah. And
exactly, it was a that's the best thing about these different Spider-Man. They still had the same reality and the same they had still the same rules of their world. Like Spider-Man Noir, the best part about him, he still saw everything in black and white. That's why I love that bit with the Rubik's Cube.
Dark follows me everywhere I go.
Yeah, and even with Porker. Yes. Oh yeah. And when it does, it smells like rain.
Sometimes I light a match just to watch it burn all the way down to my fingertips. That's the Nick Cage I want to see if he's in that.
Or Penny Parker, like she was 100% anime. Like she had the exclamation points around her head. She did the anime poses with that mecha spider.
Tears.
Yes.
Anime tears.
And you know, Peter Porker, the fact he was a cartoon. I love that line. Do you float in the air when you smell a delicious pie from a windowsill?
Yeah, with his team. Yeah, and Aunt May was cool in that movie as well. There's good stuff in that movie. Mahershala is Prowler. That he was cool. Prowler, I never thought that was a character that could work in like a cinematic like movie, but they essentially made Prowler his Uncle Ben. Like that's his focal point.
A much better version of Uncle Ben, because if
it's original. It's more original. Like it's something we haven't seen before.
Well, in the Miles Morales comics,
Yeah.
he is his uncle.
Oh yeah.
The problem is, yeah, he's just more brutal. Like I remember in the comics, Miles accidentally kills his uncle because his uncle was trying to make him a criminal, and then Miles gets angry, and that's when he first discovers his Venom shock.
Yeah.
And it's because, and then of course, remember in the comic timeline, it was after that he was very hesitant to becoming Spider-Man again. And at least this works much better. It works better with his origin story.
Yeah, Jeff dies sometimes too. Like Jeff died in the video game, the Spider-Man 4 video game.
Spoilers.
Did you not play that? It's a video game. You'll forget about it by this time next week.
No, I didn't play it, but my brother played it, and I've been on many.
Jeff Daniels dies.
Playing it. Yeah,
Jeff Daniels dies in the video game.
Oh no, I was told that, and at the same time, I saw Otto Octavius learns of Peter Parker's identity, and Aunt May dies in the game.
I didn't remember that. See, that's the thing about video games, like these Last of Us spoilers. Like, I'm not gonna play this game until it's $5, and then I'll really like it. I'll really be excited about it. But like Knights of the Old Republic, that's my favorite game of all time. I didn't play that game until 3 years after it was released, and I still didn't get the ending spoiled for me. So
I had the original Xbox console, and I paid top dollar to get that game. Yeah, because I was so hyped for it. Because at the time, I was starting to get into RPG games, and a Star Wars RPG game. That was my jam. And now, even with the second Knights of the Old Republic, and there's constant all these and the restored content on there, I'm seeing streamers play that stuff. Oh my god! It's like it's a multi-layer birthday gift. You keep unwrapping your
birthday gift. Yeah, I'm gonna give you like my mod files on that because I have everything that's just modded into one beautiful thing with all these like lightsaber hilts and different like types of blasters, Jango Fett's armor, just cool stuff.
There's a modded new planet on there that's consisted of entirely droids. I saw this in a Twitch streamer's play along, and she's on the droid planet. I'm like, wait, I remember playing the restored content. Why didn't I find this? And then it turns out this was another restored, and I'm like, God damn it.
They got custom mods too. It's really amazing. I want to like have they did that for Marvel Ultimate Alliance as well. Marvel Ultimate Alliance, the first one came out for PC. The other ones did not, but the one for PC, you can mod that even to this day and get current day Endgame costumes in that game, and just have the cast of Avengers Endgame in Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
I actually love playing the old Marvel Ultimate Alliance that's on the systems because I just liked how I love the story of that game, how it just kept expanding, and it doesn't matter how, and I love the variations of characters. Like you have no idea which of your party can interact with an NPC character out there. And I loved it.
Yeah, that was the most exciting part of that because you did, like every once in a while it would encourage you to bring other people on your team. So it's like, okay, we got to fight Kingpin in this game. That was Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Like you fight Kingpin. Okay, so I'm going to bring Daredevil. I'm going to bring Spider-Man. I'm going to bring Iron Fist. I'm going to bring people that would have like talked back to Kingpin. That one's on the Switch. I got the Switch for that just so I could play that one game, and I still haven't finished it. Like,
I think I got that for Switch. I haven't touched my Switch in a year, honestly.
There's new Pokemon games too that I haven't played either. So maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow. Like just stream some Twitch.
After Ruby and Sapphire, I was done with Pokemon games. It's not like I didn't want to keep playing them. It was just like, how many times do I gotta keep being a starting level, and then once again going badge, new Pokemon, learning of this type, learning of Poison, fighting a new version of Team Rocket, or now Team Volcano, or a Team Magma, Team Aqua, or new legendary type of Pokemon. I will watch them. I'll read the mangas or watch the show to understand the new Pokemon. I don't need to play the game to do that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I like playing those games on the computer now, but I don't watch this show, but they did say that they are renewing Lucifer for another season, which is in the news.
It brought back to Netflix. It got canceled in season 3. Netflix picked it up. It had its full season 4 run. Season 5 is going to come out in August, and season 6, from what I hear, will be its final season. I came into Lucifer after it was canceled. I binged most of it on Hulu. and then the final couple episodes on Netflix. So I'm a fan of that show. Honestly, I like Lucifer.
You've seen more Lucifer than I have, Devin. Nope. No, you haven't? Okay, he hasn't. I thought he watched that for a time. But
yeah, my mother watched like a few episodes of it.
Yeah,
do you still watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at all?
I have not watched the current season yet, but I am up to date with it.
I didn't like last season, but the current season is really... See, what I say about this season is that this is what I wanted from Legends of Tomorrow. Yeah. Like where it's... They're on they're doing timey stuff. There's even a Agent Carter crossover.
Yes, I've seen clips of it. Yeah,
yeah, and they're doing some interesting stuff. And again, it's one of those things where they canceled Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. after season 5, and they were they had a solid ending to that show. And they're like, okay, 2 more years, why not? So this is the final season of that show too. And
season 6 really was hurtful because, to be honest, season 6 I was okay with it halfway, and then the later half. The funny thing was, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of pulled one of my biggest pet peeves about the show: the fact that when you have a interwoven group of people that are strangers that become a team and then become a family. Yeah. I like the fact that in season 6 it picks apart this group, realizing that your relationships, while are strong, they're very, very freaking toxic. Even season 5 touched on that, to where they were so hesitant not to sacrifice each other, not realizing that maybe one of them had to die to save the world.
Yeah. The Hydra season, when they were in the framework, I love seeing Hydra Fitz. Hydra Fitz was every time Fitz goes crazy now, and I don't even know if we'll ever see him again. But every time Fitz got angry, it was just oh, here comes Hydra Fitz. Hydra Fitz is still in there.
Season 5 Fitz was awesome because I like that episode to where he realizes that not only has he snapped, but at the same time he finally accepts it. He accepted and embraced it because he realized, I can't play it safe when it comes to the world. Yeah, I love that. And then you start seeing how easily this group broke apart the moment Fitz realized that I have to accept this dark part of me. Everyone else is denying it. Everyone else is denying their darker selves. I'm the only one brave enough to admit that I have a freaking problem, and I'm willing to accept and move forward with it.
And I'm bummed we're not getting that Ghost Rider show because I loved.
Oh my god, I wanted to see that.
I wanted so bad. He's so good.
I wanted to see Robbie Reyes go through different dimensions as the Ghost Rider, collecting debts that the previous Ghost Rider had. Or at least the spirit.
Nick Cage gave him his powers. On the show, they show him getting his powers, and it looks like the Nick Cage, Johnny Blaze, or not Johnny Blaze?
Yes. Yeah, Johnny Blaze. Yeah, Johnny Blaze.
I always get Johnny Blaze and Johnny Storm, the comic, because Johnny Blaze should be the Human Torch's name, but they're both on fire. Why not let it burn? Burn it all, right? Burn
it to the ground.
I gotta get a clip soundbite of Michael
Burn B. Jordan.
Burn it all. His past 4 or 5 roles have all been fire. He had 3 roles in a row that were fire related, where he's just burning stuff. And then he had Fantastic Four Stick, and then he had Killmonger. He says, "Burn all this, burn it all."
Michael B. Jordan. Oh, okay. I thought you were still on Nick Cage.
Oh yeah, Nicolas Cage has been playing Michael B. Jordan in the last 2 movies. You can't even tell. He's an incredible actor.
Yeah, he wanted that Oscar really bad that he did. He pulled a Kirk Lazarus and went all method.
Oh yes, I love Nick Cage, and every time a movie comes out with him, I treasure it because
it's national treasure.
He is. Oh my god, I need a National Treasure 3.
At this point, I think they're still talking that they're still trying to greenlight a National Treasure 3. They're still trying to greenlight that.
Disney Plus that shit. Make it a series.
But the Nick Cage can't be in it. It has to be a miniseries.
Go straight to DVD all the time. He will do anything. He will take any paycheck. The answer is yes. Do you want to be in it? Yes.
Oh,
he goes to Vegas all the time. He needs to pay his gambling debts.
Oh my god. That's good.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of Nicolas Cage, have you seen Mandy?
Oh, Mandy. No.
Not yet. Not yet.
I haven't seen Mandy. Which one's Mandy?
Mandy features Nicolas Cage. You know, it's best to go in blind.
All I know is that Nicolas Cage plays a husband whose wife is murdered, and he goes on a revenge quest. That's mainly what I know.
I would love to
Yeah.
see that.
It's yeah, going blind.
Is there a blind person in it?
It's
Is that what
no,
he's saying?
no,
He
no.
loves puns.
I
feel like I want to rent this movie, but at the same time, I'm gonna wait till it's for free on Amazon to watch it.
Yeah, I'm not. I wouldn't pay to see any Nick Cage movie. I'll watch them on Netflix or wait for it on an alternate streaming platform. But yeah. What do you have any other like superhero adventures that you had this week? Me and Devin like watched up we watched over Agent Carter, like because you never finished Agent Carter. I miss it. I would really like it if they brought that show back on Disney Plus. That show was stylized. It was almost elegant.
I remember the first season. Yeah, they had like a great setup for Peggy's character. How she had to not prove herself, but she was balancing being an agent for the SSR, and then at the same time trying to clear Howard Stark of being a traitor. And I didn't get a chance to watch season 2 yet before it got canceled
on Disney Plus.
Okay, cool. I mainly have been my superhero adventures. I have spent weeks just watching geek movies because I've been doing nothing but doing movie geek trivia. So I spent last week rewatching every Harry Potter movie I could get my hand on, and then I watched the 2015 Fan 4 Stick. Then just yesterday I was watching all 4 of the Tim Burton and Joel Schumacher Batman movies.
Yeah, I want to watch Batman Forever sometime this week. Like that movie it's not bad.
It's really not. I loved it when I was a kid. I still love it now. I understand the hate towards it, but if you look at it, it's still a good marriage between Schumacher and Burton. You still got some weird Burton-esque stuff. It's underneath all the Schumacher artistic choices.
Yeah, and Schumacher did not like again. He had a couple of like episodes of like House of Cards that he directed. Like he's not a terrible director. It's
He's
just
had great movies under his belt.
Yeah.
I think with Schumacher, it was pretty much Schumacher's career is an example of what happens when toxic fandom really attacks somebody, and when studios buy into the toxic fandom. I think nowadays studios are getting more wise to the point of the toxic fandom, but back then during the 90s, but back then during the 90s, it was freaking clear they did not understand this community they were getting themselves into.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. And yeah, studios get more of the blame today too, like more heat, because like today we would have looked back if Joel Schumacher's Batman and Robin came out, we would have known they rushed that movie into production. They got George Clooney as Batman, even though he didn't fit the character. They recycled the score for the movie. Batman and Robin doesn't have an original score.
It does not.
No, it's just a recycled score from Batman Forever.
Except for the Seal song, that's not.
Seal song isn't used. Yeah.
And also, I mean, most of Batman and Robin, it's like really, it has a lot of like tech music in there, especially with some of the Robin and Batgirl motorcycle scene. Nothing but tech music playing.
Yeah. And Coolio's in it for some reason. He's just there.
He was big in the 90s. I mean, it was like
it was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool.
This movie was released and shot probably around the time when Gangster's Paradise was still the biggest thing out there. That's why Coolio showed up.
And Vivica A. Fox, like there's just so many weird things in there. Drew Barrymore's in Batman Forever.
Oh yeah, she plays one of Harvey Dent's girlfriends. Like she's the girlfriend of Harvey. I think her name is Sugar in that movie.
Oh yeah, and the other one was Spice.
Yeah,
everything nice.
Yeah.
Well, nothing was nice about that movie.
About Batman and Robin, or Batman Forever.
It was meant to be a shot at your everything nice thing. But
oh yeah, no, I get it. I was like, oh, are you serious? Oh, Batman and Robin. Oh.
Here's the funny thing about Batman Forever. Like when you looking back at it now as an adult, that was a sexually charged movie.
Extremely.
Yeah, I mean, from Nicole Kidman's characters, from infatuation with Batman to Jim Carrey's obsession with Bruce Wayne to Two-Face, I mean, being all up close in your face with his faces, and then with and then with the Flying Graces with their skin tight trapeze outfits. I mean, this
Hey, I have
movie.
that up in my closet.
No, I'm just saying. I'm not joking. I'm just saying this movie was not afraid to show off the human body. That's for sure.
No, Joel Schumacher really did tribute to the human body, and the bat nipples premiered in that movie. Let's not forget. Everybody blames Batman and Robin for that, but the bat nipples were in the final bat suit.
They weren't as subtle though. Yeah, that's why. But in the final bat suit, yeah, it had that silver outline of the nipples. I'm like, whoa. Okay.
Rubber.
Rubber, and then the cod piece and the butt shots. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, and then Batman Robin.
I do like the suit up scene though, because it's a good suit up scene. They're grabbing all their gear. I don't like the butt shots, but like seeing, I love a good suit up scene. You know, like where it just shows the mask, gear, chest, not the butt. Don't do the butt. Come on, man. Don't do the ball.
Yeah, like arms. You get the ship spikes. Check. All right, cape, check. Utility belt, check. My butt, no thanks. I don't want to see that.
Like the Arkham game has a good like suit up moment, like when he gets on the bit.
Yeah, when he gets that new upgrade stuff, like in Arkham City, when he goes from Bruce Wayne and that bat suit's on there, it just stays the black, and all you see him is just put those gauntlets on, and then he's all set.
Yeah.
Well, you got to put the face mask on.
Batman's Batman is just cool. I think that's something everybody can agree on. But one of the things we were saying about Doom Patrol, and I think the thing I don't like about it, I don't like off-color superheroes. I like my superheroes to be superheroes. I like my superheroes to be heroic. That's what I'm not.
Pale?
No, not pale. I'm not. I like colorful. I don't like off-color superheroes. I like colorful superheroes. I like the costumes. They don't have costumes on Doom Patrol. Like they don't have. They barely wear costumes on Legends.
They're not really a team. That's why Doom Patrol. They're not a team. They're just they're dysfunctional people. Like that's why Cyborg is technically the only hero there, and even then he covers himself up because he doesn't want to show his biomechanical stuff. That's I think later on when we start
don't want to pay for it.
They may not be a team, but they are very different. There are different amongst each other. I mean, they're off color, yes. Like so, that's why I love with Robot Man. The reason why he has normal clothes on because he's trying to get some semblance of being a person again. I love every character has their own tracks. That's why I really connect with Robot Man. The fact he's just a brain in a robot suit. He can't taste, he can't touch anything. He literally can't feel. I love the fact that in the 7th episode, he's trapped with nothing but his own thoughts that cause him to hallucinate, cause him to mentally break down.
It was a rat.
Apparently a rat knew it or something. It was weird.
That was the weird part. I love it.
And he's literally Tony Stewart. Like whenever they show him like out of as just Brendan Fraser race car driver, he literally is Tony Stewart from the 90s. No, it's not Nathan Fillion. He thinks he's Nathan Fillion. He's not Nathan Fillion.
He might have the jaw structure of Nathan Fillion, but he's not.
Yeah.
He might have the jaw, but he's not.
Oh yeah. I think we did good for tonight, though. I mean, thank you for coming on. If you're ready to wrap up, or unless you got anything that you needed to get off your chest, superhero wise.
Well, I mean, I have a lot to get off, but it would just lead into so many. I don't have much off the top of my head. All I know right now is the one thing I do want to say regarding the whole teaser of the Snyder Cut that was released.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't think that was warranted, honestly.
No, it's just a scene of Wonder Woman in a cave looking at a cave painting or whatever it is.
Yeah, she's looking at
the
dark side. Yeah, but we knew he was coming.
I know. And that moment, even then, of that little shot of Darkseid and those ships, we already saw concept art of that. I wanted a full-length trailer, at least a minute and a half or 2 minutes full, at least, of new footage. Maybe
it's a clip.
The real trailer will come soon.
I hope that's what it means. Technically, we already saw a trailer for the Snyder Cut, and it was the first trailer for Justice League. Like that was a trailer for the Snyder Cut, essentially.
Yeah, but I'm guessing with this maybe with the Snyder Cut, because one thing that was for sure that Snyder and Ray Fisher, who played Cyborg, said Cyborg was meant to be a pivotal role in that movie. Like the fact that he was made from a mother box.
Yeah, I loved him too. Like I thought he was great as Cyborg. All the scenes that he was in, I like how they had his voice, like the way his voice projected when he walked on the screen. Like it was interesting.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I liked the bits of his story there. Even though some people were kind of like nitpicky with Cyborg, like, oh my God, you've been this robot man, you've been this cybernetic being for like what a couple months, a year now. How come you can't control it? I'm sorry, he's been sulking in a damn room, not wanting to know anything about what he's capable of. Of course, he can't control the computer inside of him. Of course, he can't control.
Body was surgically altered.
Yeah, he's emotional. It's his emotional responses are what trigger the machines inside him. That's why I like the fact that he's constantly fighting himself in that movie.
Yeah.
And I hope in the Snyder cut we get to see how he's not completely mentally unstable, but we get to see exactly what kind of unbalanced is he? Is he more of he's afraid to go out in the world? Or is he terrified of wanting to learn more about himself? Someone within that marriage.
It seemed like, and this did seem like a scene that Snyder did shoot, that he was afraid that the mother box power would consume him. And I don't know. I think that's what it is.
I would actually appreciate that because I know in one of the DC anime movies, Justice League War, Cyborg was kind of born of mother box technology in that movie too. And even in this later movies, Justice League the Justice League Throne of Atlantis storyline. There's even moments to where he's grappling with being a cybernetic being. So I kind of want to see more of that, and also with the Snyder cut. I want to see what Ben Affleck's Batman really would have been in that movie.
Oh yeah, because you could tell the scenes. He's just bigger. Like he looks more bloated from all the beer. And I'm not even faulting that. It's bad reshoots.
I just mean the character. Like, what did Bruce Wayne really have planned? Because it's clear in the reshoots he's winging it. He's mainly winging it throughout the entire thing. But in that first trailer, you saw he was trying to antagonize Arthur to get him to show himself.
Yes. Like that's the only thing we saw, Bruce Wayne with the beard and the Gillette product placement. Like that was Snyder.
Yeah. Oh my God. And also I kind of want to see what his and Wonder Woman's relationship, him and Diana's relationship would have been.
Yeah. And we're going to get to see.
Yeah. And also, I do know we got that little small release clip like year before the Snyder cut when Superman, that point where where Alfred says he said
we hope it's not too late.
Yeah, and then you learn from release clips it was actually Superman he was talking to.
Yeah, so we get to see that. We get to see Martian Manhunter. Harry Lennox is going to be Martian Manhunter.
Because that was one fan theory that I fully supported. Because
he fits the role. He's got the face for it.
Well, it wasn't just that, but if you rewatch Man of Steel, he really wasn't that antagonistic towards Superman. He was watching him. The only time he got antagonistic was when Superman trashed the drone. And then in Batman v Superman, you clearly see he was helping out. Like he wasn't he wasn't an asshole. It was just more of like whenever his scenes with Lois Lane, you saw that he was not like telling her to go F off. It was more of come back when you got proof. And then she comes back and then he's willing to help her out.
Yeah. No, you can't move on Lex Luthor unless you have proof. Like that makes sense. Or if
you're willing to check your ego at the door. That's for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I really can't wait for the Snyder cut. I hope that the Flash is less of an idiot. I hope that we already know we're getting more Cyborg, Aquaman, Willem Dafoe, Robin Wright, J.K. Simmons. These people are actually going to be in the movie.
Yes, that's right. Because Willem Dafoe was teased in the Snyder cut. Yeah. Like he was meant to be like Arthur, an exiled Atlantean, on purpose.
Yeah, and that bubble scene, like where he's talking to Mira, that was a reshoot and they only did it that way is because they didn't want to finish the underwater stuff. That was one of the latest scenes that they shot.
Yes.
What do you think of Justice League? Anything to say about it? Anything to add? You got a soundbite you want to press? All right. That was General Grievous coughing. He's got the coronavirus. But yeah, I think we'll wrap it up. Thank you for coming on with us tonight. Hope you join us again.
No
Where can the
problem.
good people find you?
People can look for me on I'd say any platform, but people can go onto my Facebook, Ryan Payne. You can message me if you guys want to continue like talking more on comic book news, or hell, we'll have like a little chat going on Doom Patrol. We can have a room set up to where we can do watch-alongs of Doom Patrol and dissect the episodes. Or you can also look me up on TMG, where I'm a part of a show called Suplex City Chats. I'm on there with a few other. It's pretty much a show that talks about wrestling. And if you're a wrestling fan, check that show out. I'm also on there with a few other wrestling fans as we break down what we watched from SmackDown, Raw, NXT, and AEW, while also maybe doing our little theories on what will happen next or our general impressions. We try never to go more than an hour and a half, but when there's 5 of us on there, we can't help it.
Oh, wow.
And then everyone can go onto my letterbox. Valentine316 is the ID handle. I'm really slow on there, but right now as I just mentioned to Nikki and Devin, I did a full rewatch of the Harry Potter movies. So I'm going to do a ranking of those movies on which one I think still holds up or which one I still personally love. And then I'm going to start watching regular movies again and just start uploading them onto Letterboxd, because to be honest, what better way to remember the movie is to talk crap about it or talk about how you feel.
So I have one thing to ask you, since you're a wrestling fan. Did you know that The Rock was once on an episode of Star Trek Voyager where he fought 7 of 9?
I saw a clip of that episode. That reminded me of a really young Rock when I was a fan, like Scorpion King, like Mummy the Returns Rock.
Not as The Rock too.
Like yeah.
Just The Rock.
I think it wasn't until after he did the rundown, he started going Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah.
And then slowly, I think after the game plan, he went to Dwayne Johnson.
Dwayne Johnson. Oh, game plan. Or what game plan? Or what was the was it Gridiron Game was the other one?
Gridiron Game. Yeah, he did 2 movies. Yeah.
That was yeah. Devin can do the Rock eyebrow. That's interesting. Devin, where can people find you, and who would win in a fight, The Rock or 7 of 9?
Didn't 7 win?
7 won, yes.
Well, of course she won. It was a Star Trek TV show.
Yeah, she's the face. Rock was the heel in that.
Damn, I didn't have one prepared.
Find him right here on Nikki Flicks doing shows every time that we do it.
Don't you guys do something called After Dark?
We do something called After Dark on TMG. Thank you for letting us know about that. We sometimes forget our own schedule around here. It happens. We don't even know what day we're in. Devin has something sassy to say about some sort of social media account that he doesn't use anymore.
You can find me under the name Hematemia on Snapchat.
I don't even use Snapchat anymore. People can just go on to mine. I mean, I don't use Snapchat at all, but if you just want to add me, you can find a 90s kid on there.
Don't add me on Snapchat, guys. We'll see you next time on Justice Tonight. I love peace. Be without a job with peace.
Just like
it's so long in broadcast.